Hello folks, I'm doing a different video today regarding a Karcher scrubber dryer battery pack. These are, I don't know whether you can see, that's the back of it there, quite flat, and inside we have battery packs, say 18650s it's in it, lots of them, and they're wired up in series parallel to give approximately 25 volts. It's come in from my previous employer, and it was completely nothing, dead. There was 0 volts in the batteries. Now, we're not supposed to recharge lithium ions when they're that low. It's not particularly safe, as they can explode. So what we did initially, we fed it with about 30 milliamps, which is virtually nothing through all these batteries, and it slowly rose as it got to about approximately 2.7. Don't worry about that, that's just that meter. As it got to 2.7 volts, I increased the current, gradually brought it up to about 300 milliamps until we got to about 3.3, and then we started to give it a bit more. Now, it's been on a long time. We're at the kind of final stages of charging, but I don't think we'll go fully, simply because we'll let it do it with its own Karcher charger. So we're charging at 1.504 amps for all that. So there's not an awful lot of current going into each cell, to be fair. So they're not getting overly stressed in this charge. I would say subsequent charges, obviously with the Karcher charger, it's going to put a lot more current into it than I am. It's a funny circuit here. There's this module that's actually part of the casing. It's actually moulded into the back panel, as we can see. You can see some components. That's just the meter going off. And there's obviously sensing, temperature sensing, etc. on the board. Possibly even the level of charge on each. But I got my doubts that they're balanced, because this circuit here is virtually connected to this, and it doesn't seem to split it in any way, the charging. So yeah, it's a bit. Apparently these are not far off £1,000, which, assuming that is correct, is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So anyway, we were charging at 15.04, and we can do that with this. This is a little up converter from my 12 volt solar system onto up to the required voltage. It's set to 28 volts, or just below 28 volts, which would give me approximately 4.2 volts per cell. I won't be taking it as far as that, because it'll be going away in about an hour and a half, back up to the previous employer. I can try it in the machine, see if it works. Hopefully it does, and hopefully it charges. We don't know why it did this. We don't know why it went down to 0 volts. Whether it was sitting lying dormant for some time or not. There could be some slight discharge on this thing. I have no idea. So we just need to try it, see if there's a fault on the scrubber dryer itself, or whether it's the charger that's got a fault. But the idea is to get it up as basically as high as we can, really, so as we can test it out, because it does shut down. I think it's when it gets to about 23 volts, you get no output from it. So, and it doesn't seem to want to respond to a charge if it's down at 23. What you have to do is you have to connect it directly on the battery, which is what we did initially. But it's now charging as it should through this port. It's like a D socket up here, a little D socket up here and behind there. So we're getting there. An unusual one for me to do. The kind of jobs I used to do when I worked with them previously. But it is a bit of a price for a battery. And to be quite honest, it's not easy to test what is wrong with the scrubber dryer until we actually have a good voltage on it. So we had to get the battery up somehow or another so as we can test it. But there we go. So I just thought I'd show you this, a wee bit of a different video for me. obviously, but it just shows you what kind of stuff is out there that isn't so good. I don't think this is particularly well thought out. Most of the old scrubber dryers would use lead acid batteries. Some of them got very complex charging systems, which I don't know, I've got my doubts about it. Some of the older scrubber dryers with the more simple chargers seem to have a better battery life than the newer ones. With all this checking the battery, it goes off and goes back on, checks the works out the internal resistance of the batteries, does all that kind of stuff, but doesn't make the batteries last any longer, and if anything, they don't last as long. Either that or the battery quality's gone down over the years, we just don't know. But anyway, at the moment we're sitting at 25.55 volts, as we've got a bit to go yet before it hits the 28, and I doubt very much if it will in the next hour and a half or so. I doubt that, because it's hardly rising. It's taking an age, but don't forget, we're not charging it with an awful lot of current, but it's a safe way to do it, and it's the way that we'll continue on until probably about 25 past 8, and it's 10 minutes to 7 at the moment in the morning. So there we go. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Just a wee interesting different video for you, and to see how things are these days in the real world out there in industry. There we go. Okay, take care everyone. Bye for now.